So I'll just have a small recap of whatever we did. I think so. Did some definitions related to displacement, then distance nothing but actual part, displacement is your shortest distance. Then related to that, we had certain questions on displacements, majorly in which we applied the Pythagoras theorem, and one of the numerical in which we use a 3D planar system, like north, east, and then vertically upwards. Then we had a definition related to your speed and velocity, and also related to average speed and average velocity, and few numericals based on that, on your average speed and average velocity, which is calculated as either total distance by total time or will be calculated as total displacement to total time. And two type of questions, in which one was related to the conditions of distances and one was related to the condition of time. Based on that, we formed one table. So one of the method, so today we are just moving bit forward with a concept called as your instantaneous velocity. So anyone is having any idea about what is instantaneous velocity? Anyone could help me out? Yeah, Kushi, tell me.
So it is basically the speed of an moving object at a particular moment, a particular time.
Okay, at a particular time. Okay, thank you, Kushi. Okay, so like we are going to calculate the velocity at a particular time. So whenever we have a word instant, instant is nothing but at a particular time. So by definition, whenever we define your velocity, we define it as displacement by time. If I include a time interval, so obviously in that time interval, particular displacement will be covered. So in other words, I can also relate the fact as that if the coordinates they are starting with is your 0, 0, that is nothing but your origin, and it is moving to a few distance to suppose point B, which is nothing but 5, 0. So you can say directly the change in displacement is nothing but your 5. And suppose if I say that the time it starts is 0 and this time is equal to 5 seconds, then that will be your change in time. In other words, I can also relate your velocity as your change in displacement upon change in time. Means in this form also I can relate. If I know the initial value, the final value, and if I want to calculate within that time interval. So this change is represented by some symbols called as delta. So we can write it as your nothing but delta S by delta t. So that also you can represent. If I want to represent your velocity by definition, but this is nothing but velocity for a given time interval. And when they say it is an instantaneous, nothing but at a particular time, that time I just say that this change in time should be very small, nothing but I say that this change in time interval should be almost 0. It should tend to 0. It should not be exactly 0. Because if it is exactly 0, the 0 in the denominator does not exist. So if I want to find the instantaneous velocity, the velocity at a time, means the change in time interval should not be big, that should be very small, and that should be almost 0. You can say 0.00 something, 0.002 or 0.005, like that. So to reduce this ratio to limit to delta t tends to 0, there is an operator in maths which is called as a limit operator. So when you apply a limit operator on a function, on a ratio, that limit indicates to what variable it is going to tend, or to what approximate value we are going to find. So we are actually relating the time change to almost 0. So whenever it is a tending value, the math operator which is used to produce that tending value or calculating that tending value is your limit. And when you apply limit on such ratio, by definition, it is called as something your ds by dt, nothing but your derivative. So what is this d? D indicates your almost zero change, which is nothing but a very small change. That is your differentiation or else your derivative. So in short, writing all these entire things directly, I can relate that your instantaneous velocity, first of all, I can define that it is your velocity for a very small time interval. And mathematically, we can write v as dx by dt or ds by dt, because displacement can be either x or displacement can be either s, or it can also be represented as y. So when you write dx by dt, this is nothing but in maths called as differentiation or derivatives. Any word you can use, either differentiation or derivative. So that whole definition I already defined. That first it was delta s by delta t, change in displacement to change in time. But then for instantaneous, I needed the change in time to be very, very small. And to make it very, very small, you use an operator called as limit. And when you apply a limit on the ratio, then that entire ratio gets converted into a derivative operator by definition, which is called as dx by dt. So dx is nothing but your infinitesimal displacement. Infinitesimal displacement, nothing but infinitely small. There are two words in it, infinite and small, which is almost to zero, means very, very, very small change you can say. So this entire dx by dt tells us, so mathematically if I need to solve this and if I want to find an answer to it, so what we will be given? We will be given x, which will be a function of time. Now what does that mean? X as a function of time, nothing but if I say x is equal to 3t. So x is a function of time. So what does that actually mean? So this means that if graphically I draw a displacement time graph, so that displacement time graph, if I substitute the values of time, I will get corresponding x. So simple, you can say if t is 0, x will be 0. If t is 1, x will be 3. So you can see the graph will be something like this. It will be an inclined line. So any function or any graph can be represented in terms of time. So when you have displacement time graph, the displacement is depending upon your time. Hence we say displacement is a function of time. Even you can have a quadratic equation, you can have a trigonometric function, you can have any function. So the function can be anything, and every function has some graphical representation. As such, 3t is nothing but a straight line, so it will be a straight line. Yes, we are differentiating it with respect to time, because your displacement depends upon time. Only then we say it is displacement versus time graph. Also velocity depends upon time, acceleration also depends upon time. Now once we know this, that dx by dt, so x will be known to us. Now how to simplify that? Now to simplify, suppose simply I will take an example. Suppose I have given an x as 3t plus 5. I know graphically it will have a slope of 3 and it is going to pass through 0, 5, nothing but y-intercept. If I look this equation as your linear equation. Now if I want to solve this as v equals to dx by dt, first I need to just substitute the value of x as 3t plus 5. Now d by dt is called as the operator of differentiation. This is the operator. And that operator tells us that dt is the variable. Means I need to differentiate the function with respect to time. So the denominator value tells us what is the variable, which value is going to change. So my variable is time. So when you have operator acting on a function, it is nothing but a polynomial function of two terms. The operator follows a property that it will go to both the terms. It will be acted upon the first term. The operator will be acted upon the second term. This is the property of differentiation. After you apply the property, then you have something called as formulae of differentiation, which are derived by using first principle of derivatives, nothing but using the limit operators. So that explanation we don't have to go, that you will learn in maths when you learn calculus in detail. Currently, I'm just using the formulae directly. The one formula is related to your polynomial, that is t raised to n. So if it is your coefficient into the variable, so a is your coefficient, t raised to n is your polynomial or your exponent form, you can say. So when the operator acts on a polynomial, the coefficient remains the same. There will be no change in the coefficient. So see, a was the coefficient over here, it remains the same as a. But the function t raised to n will become n into t raised to n minus 1. In other words, I can say if it is acting upon t square, so that time you can say the answer will be 2t and the power will be 1. So power has to reduce by 1. Similarly, if I say t raised to 3, you can say the answer will be 3t raised to 2. So all the time, whatever is the power, after applying the operator of differentiation, the power will get reduced by 1. And the power will become the new coefficient. So you can say it is n into t raised to n minus 1. So the same property I can apply to the first term. So if I just compare this formula with the first term, so the coefficient which is being highlighted as a is nothing but coefficient 3. And when I say power n, n is the index, n is the power. So in this case, the power is nothing. So power is nothing and the power should be 1. So a value is 3, n value is 1. It is your power. So if I substitute, I will get it as 3, 1 into t raised to 1 minus 1. It's 3, 1 into t raised to 1 minus 1. And if I tell about the constant, now since constant doesn't have a variable in it, means I cannot differentiate it. I cannot find the change in it because it is a constant. Constant never changes. Hence the derivative of a constant number is always 0 because it doesn't change. So directly if I apply the formula, you can see directly what I got. 3. This is the formula n t raised to n minus 1 and the final answer was simply 3 meter per second. So any polynomial function if you have for x or for y or for s, all those polynomial functions can be differentiated using these two formulas. For constant, that will be directly 0. But if there is a coefficient and variable, nothing but called as an expression, in that case the formula will be coefficient will be same and the variable t raised to n becomes n into t raised to n minus 1. Here I have shown the example. If it is t square, what will happen? If it is t cube, what will happen?
So
Yeah,
I
Naman?
have one question related to the first differentiation formula.
Yeah.
So sir, in that an and t raised to n minus 1. So why do we have n multiplied with t raised to n minus
That is a
1?
formula, dear. This is a formula, and this formula we actually derive using the first principle of differentiation. So
Okay,
actually,
sir.
when you all learn calculus, you learn the
Yes.
first chapter called as limits.
Yes, sir.
After learning limits, you know all the calculations, all the formulae to be applied in limits. Now limit becomes your first principle of differentiation. As I showed the basic definition of velocity, how I
Yes,
got
sir.
ds by dt from limit delta s by delta t. So that was your
Yes.
first principle. So using that first principle, we derive all the formulas. And
Okay,
among
sir.
that one formula is this one, t raised to n. In that we already get n into t raised to n minus 1.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, welcome. Yeah, Ahan, the second formula is related to constant. Constant means, see, whenever we are differentiating, we are actually finding the change in one quantity with respect to the another quantity. D is nothing but a change. So if I want to find out a change in a constant number with respect to time, constant never changes. Constant is always the same. It won't change. Hence the change is nothing but equal to 0. So the derivative of a constant is always 0. Acha, in other words, you can also relate the derivative as finding the slope. So whenever I say dx by dt, it is nothing but you are calculating the slope of your displacement versus time graph. That also you can say. So in other words, if I say constant, what is a constant represented on a graph? On a graph, it will be represented as a horizontal line. And the slope of a horizontal line is 0. So in that sense also we can relate. Yeah, Ahan, is it clear? So I just given the basic definition of what is differentiation. So differentiation is used to compare the change in one of the function with respect to some another function. So when the comparison is being done, just remember one is independent and other is dependent, as if in this case your time is independent and your x is formed in terms of time. So x is your dependent. So whenever the time will change, the x value will also change. I need to just calculate with respect to a change in time, how much my displacement is going to change. That is meaning of differentiation. So your dx by dt indicates what is the change in the displacement whenever there is a change in the time. And that differentiation can be related to a mathematical formulas as your first and the second one. Is it clear? Vidip, a is the coefficient and n is the variable. Pranav, tell me.
So can you please repeat what a limit operator is?
Limit operator is nothing but it makes the value to a tending value. Like simple example, suppose if I write a number 5. Okay, now there are two ways to write 5. I can write it as 4.9. I can write it as 5.1. I can also write it as 4.99. I can also write it as 4.999. See, in all the cases, I'm not writing exactly 5. But what I'm doing, I'm approaching to the value of 5. I'm moving near to the value of 5, but I'm not taking the exact value of 5. Now, this process is nothing but done by your limit operator, the approaching. Okay. Is it clear? Snail, not entire differentiation you need to remember. So I just gave the basic definition also of differentiation. In physics, why we need it. So this part you understood, Snail? Yeah, Dvit, I will just explain the formula once again. So the two formulas are such a way that the first formula will tell you that whenever a derivative operator is acted on a expression, is acted on a variable plus coefficient, the coefficient will remain as it is. And the variable t raised to n, which is nothing but representing your exponent or indice. So that t raised to n will become n into t raised to n minus 1. Thus, if it is t square, that will become 2t. If it is t cube, that will become 3t square. So you need to just take the power down and reduce the power by 1. And when you talk about a constant, derivative of constant term is 0. Tanmay, both the way you can say the slope of dx by dt is nothing but the velocity. In displacement time graph, if you find the slope of the graph, it is the velocity graphically. So either you say as slope or you say as velocity, both means the same thing. Yeah, Shaunak, tell me.
So what if there are other functions in the relation like x is equal to log of t or something?
No,
like
currently we don't have. In physics, we are not at all relating to ln and all for kinematic section.
Okay.
Other chapters will have. So that time we will be using. But for that, you need to learn the calculus chapter.
Oh, okay.
And we will be having a one small session on calculus.
Okay.
In which I will just relate the other formulas also. So we need some trigonometry formulas.
Okay.
Sine, cos, tan. These three will be required. One exponent e raised to x will be required. And one log, that is ln x will be required. So these formulas we will be in need.
Okay.
So I will have those examples also and the formula also. So that will be easy to apply.
Okay.
Okay. So currently in this chapter, we will be using only these two formulas. So we don't have to worry a lot.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just giving the another type of question. So someone could even help me out. What will be the answer for it? So first question I gave in terms of linear, a straight line. But see, second I'm giving in terms of a quadratic. Yeah, Akshit.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Tell me.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, do we need to use calculus in the 10th grade? Like, do we need to learn it, that
Calculus in
concept?
the 10th grade, we need only in pure physics. Like partly, whatever part I am going to explain you all, only that much thing is required. So
Yeah, तो
currently for
अलग से chapter है
differentiation,
क्या calculus in
नहीं नहीं
10th
अलग
grade?
से चैप्टर नहीं है 10th में नहीं है.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, so some are getting the answer as 14t plus 2. Unnati 58, Viro 58. Okay, 58 meter per second also I am getting one of the answer. Anshul,
Hello.
you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me the solution.
Sir, for the 7t square, we'll take 14t.
Okay, how you got 14t over there?
So we'll take 2 down. So we'll multiply 7 into 2. So
Okay,
we'll get 14t. Then
okay, and
for 2t, we'll take the one which is the exponent of t down. So we'll get 2. So we
okay,
get final answer as 14t plus 2.
okay. After that,
So we'll substitute the value of t as 4.
okay, because they're particularly asking at 4 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, chalo. Thank you, Anshul.
Welcome, sir.
So in this case, you can see since displacement is a quadratic equation, that means the velocity will change. It is not a straight line. It is not a uniform. Hence the velocity equation also which you will get, that will be in terms of time. So step by step, if I just check out, so this is your x. If I just put the formula for your velocity as dx by dt, now it will go to each and every term. For the first term, if I apply the formula, see I just applied the formula that coefficient is there and n into t raised to n minus 1 for all the three terms. Constant is 0. Finally, you reduce it to 14t plus 2 meter per second. Now this equation tells us that the velocity is an increasing function of time. Means velocity is increasing, velocity is changing. Hence, they are asking you velocity particularly at 4 seconds. So you need to just substitute your t value, time value as 4. Once you substitute, you get the answer as 58 meter per second. So this is one form of question which you can come across, that displacement is given in terms of some quadratic equation or cubic equation or linear equation, and they might be asking you to find the velocity specifically at any time. Any doubt is there till this example? Should I move forward to the next example? Can I? Okay. So that is your one type of question which might arise, in which it will be directly a complete equation of the curve. But also there is one more possible way to ask the question in differentiation. Snail, is it done? The next possible case is nothing but when it is a vector form. So see here it is given in terms of I cap, j cap, and k cap. So here this is your displacement vector, x vector. But again, it is a function of time. So it is a function of time. Means again I need to differentiate to get the velocity. So how to go for it, or what will be the answer for the velocity value? Acha, Tanmay is saying 23 meter per second. Sorry. Tanmay and Viroka saying it is 23 meter per second. Any other answer? Okay, Maulik and Anurag 23 meter per second. Adhya, chalo, you got in vector form. Even give me the answer in your magnitude form. Both the way you give. Rajna and Anshul are also getting 23. Daksha is also getting 23. Okay, so most of the answer I am getting in terms of 23 meter per second. Tanmay,
Yes, sir.
tell me.
So they are unit vectors. So first we'll differentiate them.
Hmm.
We'll differentiate the x vector, and then we'll get 40 plus 7.
Acha, 40 plus 7. That's it, 40 plus 7. We don't have to write I cap, j cap, anything like that.
Yes, sir, we have to. I mean,
Ah,
40
ah.
j plus j cap
Acha,
plus
acha, 40 j cap plus
7 I get.
acha, 7 I cap. Okay, fine.
No, sir, actually we
So,
don't have to write j and I. We can just directly, because they are unit vectors, so they just give the direction. We need to find the magnitude.
okay, so what will be the magnitude?
So we'll just replace t with 4.
Okay, that will be how much? 16, and this will be 7.
7, yes, sir.
So that is nothing but 7i plus 16j. And as you say, we don't have to represent your I and j. So the answer will be 23, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Tanmay? Not pretty sure?
No, sir.
Okay, chalo, not a problem. Thanks a lot for this much answer is correct. Rest I will just tell you. Sneha? Yeah.
So we will then find the magnitude of this v vector.
Acha, and
So,
what it will be then?
so root upon 49 plus 256, which would be 295.
Correct. Yeah, you're correct. So is it necessary to take I cap or j cap? Because as he said, there is no need. I can directly add your 7 and 16 since they are unit vectors and you.
But sir, v vector, it is a vector. V is a vector too, na?
So I
we
can't
need
add
to
7 and 16
directly
directly.
we can't add.
Okay, okay, chalo. Thank you, Sneha. Yes, Durga, even I understood. Yeah, Tanmay, I think you understood the thing now. So whenever it's your I cap, j cap, and k cap. So I cap is nothing but your direction along x-axis. One is direction along y-axis, and one is direction along z-axis. Tanmay, it's okay. And rest of you, those who answer, because maximum answer I got 23. So many of you did that a small silly mistake. It's very silly, not a problem. So always remember your I cap, j cap, and k cap are nothing but your directions, unit vectors along your x, y, and z axis. So I need to keep them as it is because you're representing a vector. Yeah, Viro, tell me.
Hello. So
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, sir. So we need to use that formula, square root of a square plus b square plus 4ab
Yes,
cos
yes.
theta.
At the end. Yes. No, no. That also you can use, but the angle is 90 degree, na, anyhow, because I cap and J cap are perpendicular to each other.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay, sir.
yeah. Okay, I'll just explain once again. See, this is your x given. I will differentiate that. So that will be 70 I cap, 2tt square j cap, and 6k cap. And when we talk about a vector representation, your I cap, j cap, k cap are simply representing the directions. So the operator will act only on the variable part. It is not going to act on the direction, just the magnitude thing. So it will be differentiation of 70. I cap will remain as it is in its position. Similarly for the second and third term. When you differentiate 70, you will get only 7 because t differentiation will become 1. For 2t square, that will become 2 as it is, and t square will become 2t. So the term will become 4t. And for 6, that will be 0. Means applying the formulas, you should get the answer as 7 I cap plus 4t j cap. Now this tells us that the velocity is having a magnitude of 7 along x-axis and a magnitude of 4t, which is a changing function along y-axis. So if this tell you to find the velocity at 4 seconds, that means at 4 seconds the velocity vector should be 7 I cap plus 16 j cap. And if they ask you the exact magnitude of it in the 4 options, you can move one step ahead with finding the magnitude of a vector, which is given as root of 7 square plus 16 square, nothing but root of 305, that is your 17.4. That's it. So that's your answer. Yeah, Ahan, now you understood? Okay. Dheeraj, I squared this because this is the actual formula when we calculate the magnitude of any vector, which is given in terms of I cap and j cap, because this is your x, this is your y, both are perpendicular. So the resultant will be nothing but the Pythagoras. So root of x square plus y square. The formulas I already gave in the vectors chapter. If any vector is represented in terms of I cap, j cap, k cap, the magnitude will be root of. So I hope the examples are pretty clear and the meaning is also clear. Wait, Tanmay, I'm just not understanding your doubt. Tanmay?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me now what exactly you're asking. I'm not getting it.
So, you said that are unit vectors, but why?
Yeah. I cap, j cap, k cap are the unit vectors. They are the representations. Whenever we represent a vector, those vectors are represented along x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis.
So
Standard representation.
So I cap, j cap, and k cap are unit vectors representation.
Yeah, are unit vectors along x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis respectively. So I cap will tell you that you need to move along positive x-axis. J cap will tell you that it is lying on a positive y-axis. K cap will tell you it is lying on a positive z-axis.
And their magnitude is 1.
Magnitude is 70. See, it is written in front of it. Acha, for unit vectors, the magnitude is 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, sir.
it is
Thank you,
representing
sir.
only the direction. Yeah, welcome. Okay, I hope it's clear. Can I move ahead? Okay, so same as you had the definition for your velocity as displacement upon time, the next definition we relate to as acceleration. And acceleration is rate of change of velocity. And rate of change of velocity can be defined mathematically as v minus u by t. So as you had a definition for instantaneous velocity, the same thing I will have for instantaneous acceleration. Yes, Durga, you can say that. So acceleration again, if I just define, it will be your dv by dt. Means the velocity equation now will be differentiated because acceleration is defined as change in velocity upon change in time. You can also call it as double differentiation of your displacement. So first displacement, if you differentiate, you will get velocity, and velocity again, if you differentiate, you get acceleration. So I don't have to again redefine what is your dv and what is your dt. Directly we can go for the numerical simple, same type of example which we can have for your displacement. So you can see the velocity is 5t plus 11. So directly if I go for acceleration as dv by dt, again you differentiate, again the same method, again the same formulae, nothing is going to change. Answer will be simply 5 meter per second square. See, I haven't changed the method, only the definition has changed now. And first we had equation of x equal to in terms of time. Now I had the equation of velocity equals to in terms of time. Yes, Harshit, you are correct. In terms of displacement, you can represent that as d2x by dt square. Yeah, Nishant. Double differentiation means I mean to say if the displacement is given and they ask you about acceleration. Suppose it is similar to your next example which I am going to give. So if first I differentiate for one time, I will get velocity from displacement. Once you get velocity, you again differentiate, you will get your acceleration. That is called as double differentiation. So is whatever displayed on the screen, if someone wants to copy or take a screenshot, is if it's done, let me know so that I could move to the next screen, next slide. Okay, fine. I'm just moving to the next slide. There is next question. Yeah, Dvit, here is your explanation for double differentiation. See, the displacement is given and they are asking you the value of acceleration. And yeah, before solving the question, just remember one thing, that all the numbers over here, whatever are written, are nothing but point. It's 0.7, 0.2 and point, nothing but 0.7, 0.2 and 0.6. So those who are going to solve the question, so while solving, remember it is not simply 7, it is 0.7, 0.2 and 0.6, the question. Accordingly only then you all solve. Okay, 16.4, 4.96. I'm getting various different answers. 35.2. Yeah, Rajesh, I will. Yeah, Tarun.
Yes, sir. So first we have to actually double differentiate it. So dx by dt will be 2.1 t square plus 0.4 t.
Okay, wait, I will just write over here.
Yes, sir.
You're saying the velocity v will be 2.1 t square.
Yes, sir.
Plus
0.4 t. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
And then we have to differentiate this. So dv by dt will be 4.2 t plus 0.4.
4.2 t plus 0.4. Okay, then.
So then we substitute the value of t. So 4.2 into 4 plus 0.4.
Okay, and how much that is coming?
So that is yes, sir, that is 17.2, I think. Yeah.
17.2.
17. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Chalo. Okay. Okay, thank you, Tanmay. So I hope the people understood what is the meaning of this differentiation or double differentiation. The one who asked me what is double differentiation. I'll just show you step by step. So that is how the first equation given. You can find the value of velocity by differentiating its first time. Goes to each and every term, variable, will be differentiated, coefficient remains as it is. You get the answer as 2.1 t square plus 0.4 t. Then acceleration, again you differentiate, so that is 2 times differentiation of your displacement. Once you differentiate velocity, again you differentiate acceleration. That is called as double differentiation. So again it goes to both the terms, and directly the coefficient variable, if you apply, you get your result as 4.2 t plus 0.4 square. Then you substitute the value of time, you get your final answer. Durga, you want to ask something? No. Okay, so anyone is having any doubts? Snehil, the only fastest method is, rather than writing all the steps, you should simply know this derivative. Like in the first step, directly I can say t cube is 3t square, so mentally I can directly get it as 2.1 t square. This has multiplying by 2 to 0.4 t. That is the only fastest method you can solve in differentiation, rather than remembering all these steps. Snehil. Okay, so those who want to just copy or just take a screenshot, quickly do it. If anyone has any doubt, just kindly ask so that I could move to the next slide if no doubt is there. Okay, so can I proceed further? If nothing to be asked. Yeah, if it's under root, you need to take it as a whole raised to half. And then you can apply the same formula for t raised to n. Virok. Durga?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here's the next question for you.
Okay.
I saw you wanted to answer the things.
Wait.
Chalo, answer this one.
Okay.
Don't write anything directly,
Sir,
orally you tell me.
vector form,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
1 second, sir. My screen is.
Okay.
So the answer is 40. So answer is 4 j cap. 4 j cap.
Okay. The final answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So initially you will get 4 j cap. Okay, right. And the value in magnitude form will be?
It will be 16. No, sorry, 4.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Durga. Not a problem. Akshat, you want to ask something?
Yes, sir. Actually, this cap over I and j, what's that?
Cap represents that it is a unit vector.
And
Cap
what do
is
you
a
mean by unit
representation.
vector?
The magnitude 1.
Magnitude 1. Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, so now we have the solution. X is given.
Yes, sir. You asked me to unmute myself.
No, I will just mute. Not a problem. By mistake. Okay, so dx by dt is given. X I will substitute. Again, I cap, j cap, k cap will be separately solved. 70 will become 7. 2t square will become 4t. 6 will become 0. This is your velocity equation. Then again unit acceleration. Again you will differentiate. The first will be 0 because 7 is a constant, and 4t will become 4 into 1. So simply it will be 4j. So if the options are in the form of vector, you will keep the answer as it is. If it is given in magnitude, one more extra step you need to do to get your final answer as 4. So it depends what are your 4 options. So is it clear? So you all want some few questions on this to solve, or should I move to the next section of the chapter? Yeah, Tarva.
Yes, sir. To convert to magnitude, what's the process? Root of?
It's root of the unit vector coefficients you need to square and add.
Okay, so if it was 6 I cap then
6 square. So 6i plus 4j will be 6 square plus 4 square under root.
okay.
Adding the square of the coefficients.
6 square plus 4 square.
6 square plus 4 square. If it is 6i plus 4j plus 7k, that will be 6 square plus 4 square plus 7 square.
And the whole root.
Yeah,
Okay,
in the
sir.
whole entire root.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just sharing that on your doubts group, a worksheet, and we are just going to discuss that worksheet. There are 12 questions on it. So we could even quickly go for it. Yeah, I have sent on the WhatsApp group, and I'm directly displaying that also. It will be same Ahan for this case because acceleration is uniform. It is not time dependent. So even if it is asked for 6 seconds, the value will be same, that is 4, because acceleration is uniform in this case. So everyone can see the screen of the questions. Okay, fine. So one by one, I'm just going to answer. So quickly, you can just go for these 12 questions. Yeah, Akshat, tell me.
Excellent.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
So the displacement x of a particle along a straight line at time t is given by x equal to this one. The first question, I couldn't get it actually. I tried to solve, but I couldn't.
Acceleration, so twice you need to differentiate it.
What do you mean by differentiate it?
Now what we did, the taking derivative d by dt.
Sir, I didn't understood that point due to a connectivity.
Acha, you need to take a d by dt of every term. So d by dt
D
of
by
first term,
dt.
d by dt of first term, d by dt of second term, d by dt of third term.
What do you mean by d by dt? I couldn't get anything actually.
Acha, you didn't understand whatever the part of differentiation was explained?
Sir, I haven't done differentiation actually.
No, today what today what I explained about differentiation, that you understood?
No, sir, actually.
Acha, so what we will do as soon as the lecture ends, okay, for 5 minutes I will just explain you that. Will that be okay?
Actually, the first part which you told, the
Yeah, I will
derivative
just
and
explain you
calculus
that.
thing. No, I couldn't get anything out of it. Actually,
Akshat, I
that's
will
the
just
issue.
explain you after the lecture, because
Okay,
since it is done with the maximum, na? So for you separately, I will just explain that once the lecture gets over. Will that be okay? For 5 minutes, you can sit extra.
Yeah, no problem, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Of course, sir.
Okay, so quickly we'll just go with the solutions one by one. I'm just asking. Daksha, how you got the first one? Tell me.
So first, x is given as a naught, then a0, then a1 plus a square, a2
T square. Yeah.
t square. Then I found v is equal to dx by dt, which is equal to a1 plus 2at.
A1 plus 2a2.
2a plus 2t.
Okay.
Then a is equal to dv by dt, which is equal to 2a2. That is option C.
Acha, okay, because T differentiation will be simply 1. So it will be 2a2, option C. Okay, fine. The first answer is C, 2a2. Okay, thank you, Daksha. The first answer we got it as 2a2. Yeah, Durga.
Sir, which question? Can you just tell?
First question, this one first.
First
You
question.
can, yeah, that
So
is
you
282.
hello, sir.
Yeah, Durga, tell me.
So can you, sir? You want the first one, right?
Yeah, first one.
Sir, so in the first one, the distance is given in the form of equation. So when I double differentiate it, I will get acceleration. So first, when I differentiate it for one time, the velocity will be a1 into 2a2t.
Okay.
And when I differentiate that velocity equation, I will get 2a2.
Okay, fine. Chalo. Means you understood how to double differentiate it.
Yeah.
Help me out with the second.
Yes, sir. I'm actually doing that one only. So can you just give me 5 minutes?
No 5 minutes, just 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so anyone else? Yeah, Tanmay, you can use that also, or else the reverse method. The second answer. Everyone is saying me the second answer is D. Tanmay is saying the answer is B. 22nd. 2. Yeah, Virok.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
in the second question, I got a little confused. Sir, I calculated the derivative of the velocity. I got it as 12t square minus 2. Then what to do? I just didn't understand.
Calculate. Find out the value of displacement for it.
Okay.
Because they are asking you acceleration when the displacement is 2 meters. So for that you need the displacement equation. So anyhow get the displacement equation in terms of time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Durga, tell me.
So initially here velocity is given. So, sorry. Yeah. And I will find first dx by dt. What you say? Dx by dt equal to integration of 4t cube minus 2t.
Okay.
And dx by dt. So dx will be dt into that velocity equation.
Okay. So you applied the integration part.
Yeah, integration from distance 0 to 2 and then time 0 to t.
Okay.
So you will get a time equation which is t to the power 4 minus t square minus 2 equal to 0. If I solve that, I will get t is equal to under root 2s. Sorry, under root 2 seconds.
Okay.
And now I will differentiate the velocity equation.
Okay, correct.
Which I will get as acceleration, which is 12t square minus 2.
Yeah, perfect.
If I put that my root 2 seconds in this equation, I will get as 22
Okay, yeah, correct.
meter square per second.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry.
Perfect. Correct. Exactly right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so one way he told that I can get the value of displacement by using something your integration. So I'm not explaining integration or anything right now. I'm just dealing with differentiation. So using differentiation, how can I have an approach? Like always remember your differentiation and integration are exactly opposite to each other, or else other words, since it is given as 4t cube minus 2t, this velocity equation is given and I need acceleration to be calculated, so I can find out the acceleration by simply differentiating this. So 4 will be as it is, t cube is 3t square, answer will be your 12t square minus 2 because t derivative will be 1. This is your acceleration now, but I don't have time to substitute. So to get that, I need the value of displacement. Why I need displacement? Because they're asking you what is the acceleration of the particle when the distance is 2 meters. So since they're asking that in terms of displacement, I should know the displacement equation. Now I know if I differentiate your displacement, I get velocity. So How I get 4t cube? I will get 4t cube if I differentiate t raised to 4. Because the series of differentiation which I gave, the formulae, if it is t square, we write 2t. If it is t cube, it is 3t square. If it is t raised to 4, we say it is 4t cube. So 4t cube, nothing but it is t raised to 4. The reverse method. Minus, if it is 2t, 2t is the differentiation of something called as t raised to 2, t square. And since there is no constant in velocity, so probably the constant might have become 0 if there is certain constant present in the displacement equation. So I'm just going by the reverse way. So since velocity equation I was knowing, I was just calculating whose differentiations they are. So 4t cube is the differentiation of t raised to 4. 2t was the differentiation of 2 square. And since there is no constant term over here, since there is nothing, so we can say your displacement might be having some constant term because the constant derivative becomes 0. If there is nothing over here, that means it is plus 0. So 0 is a differentiation of constant. But I don't know the value of c, so that can be calculated from this statement that it is starting from the origin. Origin means your x value was 0 at the start. Means when t was 0, your x value was 0. If I use that relation, if condition, and if I substitute the value of x and t as 0, I will get the c value also as 0. So your final equation of x becomes x is equal to t raised to 4 minus t raised to 2. This is the equation for your displacement. And since they're asking us the displacement or the acceleration when displacement was 2 meters, so let us find the time when it reached 2 meters, so that you need to equate to 2. So t raised to 4 minus t square equals to 2. So it's a kind of quadratic equation, a reducible form of quadratic equation. So if I simplify that, I will get an equation as t raised to 4 minus t raised to 2 minus 2 equal to 0. Simplifying this, I can get your t square value as 2 as using the splitting the middle term of quadratic, because it is minus 2. So the middle term will be minus 2 plus 1. So you will get t square as 2 or you will get t square as minus 1. It cannot be negative. So the answer will be t square equal to 2. Now in the acceleration value, you need to put the t square value, that will be 12 into 2 minus 2. The answer will be 22 meter per second square. Is it clear? So acceleration equation we got by differentiating your velocity, and your displacement equation we got by applying the reverse method of velocity. Reverse method nothing but from the values in your velocity equation, we just compared to whose derivatives they are. So 4t cube was the derivative of t raised to 4, 2t was the derivative of t square, and 0 is nothing but you can say derivative of some constant. And to find that constant, always remember there will be some condition given. And the condition was that it is 2 meters from the origin. That indicates that the process has started or the particle has started from the origin. If the particle has started from the origin, that means when t was 0, your x was also 0. So if I substitute that condition over here, I will get c also as 0. Yes, Neil, is that clear? Okay. Yeah, Tanmay, tell me.
Yes, sir. Sir, which one?
Okay, wait a minute, Tanmay. I thought it's Tanmay Chaudhary. I'll just unmute you again, Tanmay. Just give me a minute. Tanmay, what doubt you have?
So the x is equal raised to 4 minus t raised to 2 is equal to. So how there is a 2 after that?
They have asked over here, see now, when it is 2 meter, because they're asking us specifically the acceleration value when the particle has displaced 2 meter. But I don't know the time, at what time it was displaced at 2 meter. So using the displacement equation, I substituted the displacement as 2 to find out the time value. So that time value I can substitute in acceleration equation to get my answer.
So this is only one way to solve this example.
Yeah, and other way is called as integration. Like I applied the reverse method no? Over here, that 4tq was a derivative of t raised to 4. But the process is going to remain the same. That you will get some equation in terms of c. You will substitute your x and t value as 0. The method is going to remain the same.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, was a bit confusing. Yeah, Durga, tell me.
Sir, which question?
The next one.
Okay, sir. This so velocity of a body it's given an equation. So when I differentiate it, I will get an acceleration. So which is 0.2 t.
Okay.
And which is a uniform, which is uniform. If I increase t, the acceleration will increase uniformly.
Okay.
And
so
it's,
what it is?
So uniform acceleration A.
It will be uniform acceleration. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Paka.
Hmm.
Or is it non-uniform acceleration? Wait, Virok also want to speak something. Yeah, Virok, tell me.
Sir, it will be sir. No. Sir, I have the answer as D.
Zero acceleration.
Yeah.
How come D?
Okay, no. We are differentiating velocity. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Huh.
So as per you, what should be the answer then? Because Durga is saying the answer should be A.
Yeah.
You're also saying A.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I have one more person who is having different answer. Yes, Neha, tell me. What
The
it should
answer
be?
should be C.
Why it should be C?
It is dv by dt. It
Yeah.
is dv by dt. So plus 0.1, 0.2 t. So it will vary against time.
Okay, the acceleration value will vary against time.
Sir,
So if
varying
acceleration,
rate against time and equally varying against time is different. Here, velocity is changing, but acceleration is constant here. I mean, constant means
acceleration is not
uniformly,
constant.
not constant means, sorry, uniformly increasing.
So it's not uniform acceleration. How you define uniform acceleration and non-uniform acceleration? Simply, I'm asking a basic definition.
Sir, equal time, equal acceleration covering.
No, that's a bit confusion. Uniform acceleration is defined as uniform change in velocity with respect to equal intervals of time. Means the graph of acceleration time should be a horizontal line. Means A should be a constant number. That is uniform acceleration. So this definition even you can get in your NCERT 9 standard. In that we have this definition for uniform acceleration and non-uniform acceleration. So there it is all specified clearly that uniform acceleration means whenever there is a uniform change in velocity in equal intervals of time. But if the change in velocity with equal intervals of time is changing, then we say it is non-uniform acceleration. So if your acceleration value is changing with respect to time, that is non-uniform. And if acceleration value is constant, it's simply a number, then it is your uniform acceleration. Understood, Durga?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a bit confused, I know, but you can, if you want, you can just refer to that definition. It's in NCERT
Sorry,
9th standard.
sorry.
No, no, not a problem. It's better to clear our doubts, no? Not a problem. But just even you can refer that once. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so for the third question, it will be non-uniform acceleration. Because when you differentiate your velocity equation, your acceleration will be, that will be 0 plus 0.2 t. Now this tells us that the acceleration is time dependent. If acceleration is time dependent, that means the graph which will be plotted for your acceleration versus time, that graph will be nothing a inclined line. Means your acceleration is changing with respect to time. If acceleration is changing, means it is your non-uniform acceleration. If you can say in other words also, suppose if I make a graph such that it is an horizontal line, acceleration time graph, and for that the equation will be in some terms of like a is equal to suppose 3. So if a is equal to 3, horizontal line, so see it is not time dependent, so that is called as your uniform acceleration. This is your non-uniform acceleration. Even if it is a curve, even it had been a quadratic equation, we say it as non-uniform acceleration only. Yeah, Varun, in that case you can say. If we say that it is uniformly changing acceleration, that is different. But we cannot call that as uniform acceleration. Varun. Yeah, Grima, it can be parabola also. It can be a curve also. But again, that will be a non-uniform. Uniform is always when it is a horizontal line. Acceleration time graph. Is it clear? Dwit, for you is the third question clear? Etesham. Final answer is your non-uniform acceleration. Because a is a function of time, 0.2 t. Yeah, Dwit, in the second question, till then the others can solve the fourth question. I will just explain the second question to Dwit till then. Dwit, in the second question, you just need to find the value of acceleration when the displacement was 2 meter. So they are not giving the acceleration with respect to time. They are asking you acceleration with respect to displacement. So I should know the value of time at which the value of acceleration to be calculated. So for that, I need the value of your displacement equation. So to get that displacement equation, I will use the reverse method. Now, since the velocity is given as 4t cube minus 2t. So I know how I got 4t cube. So 4t cube was the differentiation of t raised to 4 as per the formula of derivative. And 2t was the derivative of t square. And at the end, there is nothing, means it should be plus 0 for velocity. And 0 will come whenever there is some constant. So this is how I will get the value of x, Dwit. So once I get the value of x, I don't know c is constant. To get the value of c, they are given the condition that it is starting from origin in the question. So origin means x has 0, t is 0. So if you substitute x0, t0, c also becomes 0. And finally, you get your displacement equation as x is equal to t raised to 4 minus t raised to 2. And then they are given the displacement is 2 meter. So at 2 meter, what was the value of x? For that, you need to equate that to 2 and get the value of t. So there you get the t square value as 2. And then you substitute in the acceleration, because acceleration was differentiation of velocity, which was nothing but 12t minus 2. In this, sorry, 12t square minus 2. And if you substitute the t square value as 2, you will get the answer as 22. That was your final answer, meter per second square. Dwit. Okay. Yeah, so for the fourth question. Yeah, Tanmay, quickly tell me the fourth one.
Yes, sir. So first we'll differentiate the velocity. So we'll
Okay.
get 2ct minus 4dt cube plus b.
Okay.
So then it's given that the t should be 0,
Okay.
like initial velocity. So for initial velocity t is 0, and we substitute t is equal to 0, and then we'll get just b.
Okay.
So v is equal to b in that case, and then we differentiate velocity. So acceleration can be given by 2c minus 12 dt square.
Okay. And then again you put t as 0, so you
Yes,
get
sir.
acceleration as
2c.
2c. Chalo, perfect. Thank you, Tanmay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. The rest of the questions you can solve as an homework in the next class. You can directly WhatsApp me or put in the group also if anyone want to get the answer checked. Next class we'll just start with the further part of the chapter. Okay. So thanks a lot, everyone. Have a nice day. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Acceleration time graph slope doesn't give anything, Tanmay. It's always the area which will give you change in velocity. Yeah, Dvit, I will.